Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Hammer. Today is Friday, September 12th, 2025. I, of course, am here talking about what's going on with mortgage rates and all that good stuff. Remember, you can check out our show anytime. We do this 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. But just to remind you, these are the products that I have that you are welcome to learn more about. We got Originator Success. You can check that out at originatorssuccess.com. That's for helping you to build your brand online, get loans from Google and AI search. We got Grab and Go Social for helping you to build up your social media presence. Pre-made, all set content, customizable content, and coaching to get out there and get business from social. And we got Rate Sensei, which is where we talk about what's going on with mortgage rates and the markets and all that good stuff. So remember, you can join me live each and every weekday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. If you're watching the replay, don't forget, give me hashtag replay in the comments. Let me know that you were here. Also, if you would like a reminder that I'm going live, you can get a text alert, hmmr.io/reminder, or use this cool QR code over here. If you're on your phone right now, take a quick screenshot. You can go to your photos. That QR code will work. You could sign up for a reminder. If you don't want to join each day, but you want to just take a look at what's going on, you can get our email at ratelockadvice.com or this QR code here. You can sign up for our free email lock advice. You can also get our text alerts at ratetextalerts.com. So anyway, let's say hi to all the live folks here this morning. All my friends, good morning. Vicky McSweeney, Yasmin Martin, great to see you. TGIF, Tiffany Teal, Mike Brown, good to see you. Monica Dinkins, great to have you here. Mallory Fotiadis, Deb Dickinson, good morning, y'all. So many of you, familiar faces. I feel like we're like besties. So thank you for joining me each day. I appreciate you. I am very honored that I can be a part of your day and help you to start your day. So Megan Bassell, Randy Tico, giddy up, sir. Brandy Brickler, good morning. Matt Rasner, Holly Johnson, Nicole Semarat, Allison Foy, Tim Klyla. Great to have all of you here this morning. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to jump right in today. We'll get into the good stuff here. Let's start off with taking a look at the technicals. When we take a look here, today is a bond rollover. So yesterday it ended at 101.19. This morning began at 101.9. Probably only about those 10 basis points. We're actually up 2 basis points on the day, even though this is lower than here. It has to do with that bond rollover. I'm just going to put roll. All right. And bond rollover, I know that could be a little bit confusing, but basically it has to do with the maturation dates of bonds. So they don't go on forever. If you're buying a bond that matures in 30 years from when? So we're right now, instead of selling into the October coupon, lenders will start selling into the November coupon. What happens when you lock a loan, they're actually TBD, to be delivered. They're promising that they're going to go ahead and deliver that loan for a future coupon. So, and there's just small differences generally in what those coupon prices are trading for. That's why it doesn't affect rate sheet pricing, because it doesn't affect how your lenders, your secondary department gets paid. That it's not really affecting that part. But it does change a little bit as far as what the charts look like. So anyway, taking a look this morning, mortgage-backed securities up a whopping 2 basis points. That means rate sheets are going to be about the same as yesterday. You can see that right here. We see that bonds are basically flattening out, right? So that can really get clear if we take a look. Let's go ahead and use green, since green's such a lovely color. So we improved here. We improved even more here. And now we're just kind of flat, right? So we're just kind of running into this flat part. And that's likely what's going to happen as we head into next week's Fed meeting. We're not likely to see much of a change there. Taking a look at the 10-year Treasury yield, 4.07. It's creeping up a little bit. We do want to keep an eye on that. Let me pull this over so I can actually get you the whole. There you go. So no, a little bit further. All right, so taking a look here, you could see that we want this to actually go down because it's a yield, not a price. So you could see that we actually were down lower yesterday, and then this is right here this morning. So we're actually up a hair this morning. But again, it's also hit that kind of that flat point. We're going to be really watching to see if next week's meeting can push us down into the threes for the 10-year Treasury yield. Now, I don't know if we're going to see that, but So anyway, here's kind of why I don't think rates have much room to improve. And let me show you where we're at and then where we're going. So right now, you could argue, if again using Mortgage News Day as a reference point, 6.27 is just a little bit better than 6.29. 6.29 has been like our flat line here. We had 6.28 for a day. And again, 6.27, but really, I mean, this is just there's no movement in rates for the last week or so, and not likely to see any as we head into next week. Today, we're going to get a consumer sentiment reading at 10 a.m. Not likely to make any big change. Of course, the Fed is during their blackout period. I think we will start getting a Nick Timiraos Fed article probably Monday. So definitely by Tuesday, but probably Monday. But right now, when we take a look at what the Fed expectations are, it's basically just a gimme that we're going to have that rate cut in September. And markets are pricing in the idea that we're going to have a rate cut starting in September. Remember, there's 3 meetings left this year. There's this September meeting, there's October 29th and December 10th. Right now, markets are betting that we're going to see a 1/4 point cut each of those meetings. September, that'll bring us to 4. Then in October, they're expecting to bring us to 3.75. You could see there's only a 15% expectation that we wouldn't see a cut here. This is no cut, right? So it's very unlikely that we would see that happen. Markets don't think that's going to happen at all. And then if we go ahead and we get into December, markets are at 75% that will be at 3.5. That's 3 cuts. Bring that here, it's almost 80%. And there's just this little tiny blip that think, okay, well, maybe we'll only see 2 cuts and they'll stop. So right now, market's pricing that in. Also later in the year for next year, pricing down to either 3, maybe 2.75. We're seeing, again, this curve here. It's unlikely that Jerome Powell is going to say anything at the next meeting. It's going to really push this expectation of cuts further in the year. In order to see mortgage rates improve dramatically more than where we're at right now, we would have to see unemployment continue to be weak. We'd have to see inflation start to fall. We'd have to see signs of other economic data that was showing weakness. And we haven't necessarily seen that yet. But lenders are they're going to be looking to get into that 5 area no matter what. 5.99 is going to be a thing, right? So because we know there's a huge psychological trigger with consumers right now. If they get below 6, it's going to help to kind of ease the pain and get everything going. Randy Tickle, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking backwards. There you go. That's true. Mike Brown today says, Ron, National Chocolate Shake Day. Oh, yeah. All right. So there you go. It's a question of the day. What's your favorite flavor shake? Favorite flavor shake? Milkshake, right? Believe it or not, I'm going to go with that peach one from Chick-fil-A. But being that that's such a specialty one, you can only get it at a certain time of the year. Normally, it's strawberry. I'm a strawberry shake guy. I'll go with chocolate if I'm in the mood for chocolate. Last is vanilla. Vanilla, my wife says I'm a vanilla guy. I'm very boring. I'm just a kind of basic dude, a meat and taters kind of man. And she calls me vanilla as a nickname. But I don't like vanilla as far as the ice cream flavor. I'm definitely a strawberry shake kind of guy. What about y'all? What's your favorite kind of milkshake? Anybody that's going to admit to liking that Shamrock Shake from McDonald's that comes out in March? Chocolate peanut butter. All right, Allison, I get it. You got a Reese's thing going on there. Same thing with Mike Brown. Y'all are fancy. Y'all are bougie. You bougie people with your chocolate peanut butter milkshakes. But that's all right. I love all of y'all anyway. So let me know what's your favorite milkshake in the comments. But anyway, going into next week, the nutshell version of what we got with different things. We're going into the Fed meeting, of course, on Wednesday. Most comments going to be looking at what Jerome Powell is going to do. This meeting, markets were absolutely expecting a rate cut. We will get a 1/4 point rate cut. The Fed has kind of thrown it out there. If they weren't looking to do a rate cut, we would see signs. They'd be putting it out there to kind of shake markets out of that belief because they don't want to surprise markets. So I definitely think we see a 1/4 point rate cut. The question is it one cut like we saw last year? And remember, that rate cut is not going to push mortgage rates lower, but mortgage rates can go lower if expectations of further cuts other signs of weakness. So keep that in mind. As we're answering the questions about, there we go. Let's see. We got chocolate peanut butter from Allison Foy for your favorite flavor shake. We got peanut butter chocolate shake. They're the same thing, right? We got a banana milkshake. Megan, I'm with you. I love banana. Chocolate with Oreos. Y'all get some fancy shakes. You bougie people. Cookies and cream or vanilla. Yeah, cookies and cream. Mallory. It's funny. Y'all go in waves, right? Vicky was going to say chocolate until she saw chocolate peanut butter. All right, I'll give it to you. Mike is a banana guy as well. Holly will admit it. Used to love Shamrock shakes, but had one this year and it didn't taste the same. I'm with you. It seems like that happens with everything. Kind of gross, but the Andes mint shakes from Arby's. I've never tried an Andes mint shake from Arby's. Is it there all the time? I have an Arby's in town. I haven't been. I'll have to go try it. I really shouldn't because the sugar is terrible for me. But Yasmin, banana or strawberry. Jerry is going with the chocolate peanut butter Reese's. Good morning, Thomas Wolf. Tell us what's your favorite milkshake, which we're going on today. So, all right, while you guys are doing that, I'm going to go ahead and let's go over some of the headlines. We'll take a look at what else is going on in the world this morning outside of the conversation, of course, on Charlie Kirk. Actually, let me put this side by side. And I don't want to, it's funny, I wouldn't think that should be a controversial thing. I do hope they found, I think even anybody that didn't like his beliefs, I didn't agree. Remember, I mean, I don't want to get too into stuff, but I'm an atheist and I don't hide it. I don't like go out of my way to really, but Charlie Kirk was a Christian man that had very Christian based values, but I have very similar values on many things, but I didn't agree with everything that he said, or I just loved the way he created discourse and discussion. Didn't talk over people, didn't yell at them. A lot of clips, it's hard. People that hate on him, I don't think they really watch the clips. So anyway, taking a look at what we got going on, though, outside of what's going on in that world. Here's an article on Bloomberg. Economists see Fed rate cut next week, at least one more in 2025. Again, they may only see one more, but markets are betting on three. And we can see that here in Fed futures. It's clear as day. This is where the money meets the mouth, and markets are definitely pricing in the idea that we're going to see three. So economists see Fed rate cut next week. One more. Economists surveyed by Bloomberg News expect the Fed to execute a series of interest rate cuts, beginning with a reduction next week. Median respondent sees 2 cuts by year's end, but a sizable minority anticipate 3. Yeah, sizable minority being correct on this one. Investors leaning more heavily in the direction of 3 rate cuts. Yeah, investors meaning markets, meaning Fed futures. Fed futures think the Fed is going to cut 3 times. Economists saying that they think the Fed will only cut twice. I don't think 2 cuts really bring us to neutral, so I don't think that that's a possibility again. But remember, these Fed rate cuts and even some of the ones in the future, they would all help bring mortgage rates a little bit lower, but we're not going to see rates significantly go lower as the Fed cuts rates because these Fed rate cuts have already been priced in, and we need to get that message out to everybody. Almost 90% of respondents expect Fed officials will change their post-meeting statement to emphasize greater attention to labor market risks. Remember, it's either labor, we're going to put that as the L, or it is price stability or inflation, and we're going to put that with the I. So right now, the argument has been for inflation, but now with the labor market showing signs of weakness, we think that the Fed will have to focus more on the labor market. And in order to facilitate the labor market, you're going to need to kind of spur some of the economic conditions. And that's what the expectations are here. What else we got going on here? Stocks waivers, yields rise, and cautious trading, blah, blah, blah. Corporate America bets on Fed cuts with longer dated holdings. A little bit interesting on this one. Companies are moving excess cash into longer term securities, betting that rate cuts from the Fed will make these holdings more lucrative. So what happens is if the Fed does cut rates, if you're getting a 5.5, like if you invest in a mortgage-backed security right now at 5.5, and my savings account is only giving me 3.5, that's terrible, but you guys get the point, right? And if the Fed cuts rates, savings account rates are going to drop. And again, this is an oversimplification, but just so you can kind of wrap your head around it. So if the Fed cuts rates next week, my 3.5 is going to turn into 3.25. It will go down with, pound for pound with the Fed rate cuts. And if the Fed cuts again in October, then it'll become 3. And if they cut again in December, we could see down to 2.75. So if the Fed does cut by 0.75 by the end of the year, you're going to see things like the, savings account rate go down as well. Now, HELOC, home equity line of credits that are tied to prime, will also see their rates go down. But overall, we're really focused more on this side. And if you can get 5.5 and lock that in right now, that's why you'll see, businesses, investors going into long-term bonds if they expect to see an environment where rates and investments are going down, where rates and returns, rather, not investments, where rates and returns are going down. So a little bit of an oversimplification, but that is how it works. Just get your head kind of wrapped around it. Tiffany said, so I don't see my HELOC rate. Yes, your HELOC rates will go down when they're tied to prime. Randy Teakle's a mint chocolate shake guy. Yeah. So, all right, cool. What else we got going on? Any other articles this morning that actually are interesting to see? Traders lock in Fed bets boosting treasuries for the week. Treasuries were set to extend their rally into the 4th week after Thursday's jobless claims. Yesterday, we talked about that yesterday. Jobless claims are the highest in 4 years, just almost 4 years. Yield on 10-year debt edged 2 basis points to 4.04. It did briefly touch down. You could see here 3.99. It was a low of 3.99, but it was there and then it bounced back up. But I think there's a good chance that we could see that 3 handle. Remember, there is a big psychological barrier when it gets into that 3 handle. And we see that 10-year treasury yield do that. But more importantly, mortgage rates, when they get into that 5 handle, that's what's making the big difference. And so you will definitely see that. You want to get out there and prep to get some loans. Y'all prep to get some loans, get them done. But otherwise, it's going to be, generally your reprice risk on the day is low today. It's unlikely we have to see too much to worry about. Rate sheets will be basically unchanged. Reprice risk is low. We're not going to see a lot of movement until next Wednesday. We got retail sales on Tuesday, nothing on Monday. We'll get a Nick Timmeros article on Monday, I'm pretty sure. We'll talk about that. But so on Monday, there's, we'll just look back and see, hey, how did we end this week? We'll talk about how we're going to begin next week. We'll see if we get a Nicky Timmeros article and we'll go from there. So that's it. What kind of plans do you all have over the weekends? Let me know in the comments. What kind of plans do you have over the weekend? I'm going to be working on the barn. I got to get this thing finished, man. Once I get it wrapped up to get the walls closed off, then I can call in for my final electrical inspection. And then I can have the electric company get the electric running, and then I can move up there. So this weekend, got to get some barn action going. I wanted to be in there 2 months ago, and I'm not. But I've also been traveling a lot, so that kind of threw me off. Mallory needs a beach day. I've seen your beach days, Mallory, on Facebook. So good for you. Go get a beach day. Where are you at that you get a beach day? Allison, football and open house. I bought NFL ticket this year. I did splurge. I'm liking it. So I'm a Panthers fan. I don't think they're going to be all that good this year. They're not all that good. I think the coaching needs to step up. I think Canales could be a good coach, but I don't know. They looked ill-prepared in their first game. Anyone see the Packers and Washington play last night? I did not see the game, but it did. Reading the highlights and the whatever, it looked like a good game. Tiffany's going to a wine festival. Have fun, Tiffany. Wine is wasted on me. I got to buy a lot of wine for my son's wedding, October 11th. You're all invited. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry, but October 11th, we have to provide all the alcohol. So I got to pick up a bunch of wine. I don't know anything about wine. So I might get some cheap stuff and people will be like, but I won't care because I won't be drinking it. It's Tito's or bust for me, baby. Mallory, Niceville, Florida, 10-minute drive to Destin. Oh, Destin is beautiful. Yeah, okay. I've been through there a couple of times. We stayed there once. So yeah, that is a nice little panhandle section of Florida. Good for you. Go get some beach, girl. Go get some beach. Yasmin, moving on Monday to another part of Georgia. All right. Well, good for you, Yasmin. I hope the move goes smooth. I hope everything fits in the boxes and comes out well. And good for you down there in Georgia. And I hope you enjoy your new spot. So, all right, friends, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you again for joining me. I will see you on Monday. Have a fantastic weekend, y'all. Bye-bye.